Tonight, the noose may be tightening around the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia in connection to the alleged brutal murder of a journalist who lived in America. The Washington Post reporting tonight that Turkish officials have now identified 15 Saudis who took part in that killing, some of whom have direct ties to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. In his strongest defense yet of the Saudis who are believed to have killed a Saudi journalist, Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi, President Trump told the Associated Press Tuesday, "I think we have to find out what happened first. Here we go again with, you're guilty until proven innocent. I don't like that. We just went through that with Justice Kavanaugh, and he was innocent all the way as far as I'm concerned." Davis, California Congressman John Garamendi, a Democrat, portrays Trump after that statement as an apologist now for the perpetrators of the murder.
There is nobody, except perhaps the president, that's saying, A, it didn't happen, and B, that Saudi Arabia had nothing to do with it. In fact, Saudi Arabia had everything to do with this murder, and quite possibly the gruesome hacking up of the body. So what is the president doing? Is he standing up for the free press? Is he standing up for the First Amendment to our Constitution about the right of the press? Apparently not.
But in an interview with CNN's Chris Cuomo, Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz urged patience on condemning the Saudis until all the facts are in.
I want to remain hopeful that the future for Saudi Arabia isn't destined to be one of this type of swift desert justice, that it's one where we can have more mutual cooperation. But I don't think we can give up on Saudi Arabia, but I think we've got to hold them accountable.
Earlier, there were plenty of smiles and pleasantries when Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Saudi Arabia to have a direct and candid conversation with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman about the apparent murder of Khashoggi, who lives in Virginia.
Okay, it was good, uneventful. It was good. Yeah. I hope we don't have jet lag.
The president tweeted, "Just spoke with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who totally denied any knowledge of what took place in their Turkish consulate." Khashoggi entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul 2 weeks ago and has not been seen since. The Saudis said for days Khashoggi left on his own. Tuesday, the Washington Post published the passports of 7 men whom Turkish officials say were part of the Saudi hit squad that flew to Istanbul to confront Khashoggi. And Turkish officials also put out a list of 15 Saudis who allegedly took part in the disappearance and the alleged killing of Khashoggi. The Crown Prince has been a favorite of both President Trump and son-in-law Jared Kushner, who saw bin Salman and the kingdom as a consumer of U.S. weaponry and a strategic counterweight to Iran in the region. And despite the mounting evidence, the president said he was not yet ready to blame the Saudi royal family for Khashoggi's disappearance.
And it depends whether or not the king or the Crown Prince knew about it, in my opinion. Number one, what happened, but whether or not they knew about it. If they knew about it, that would be bad.
But the Trump administration is facing increasing pressure from Congress to respond more aggressively.
What you got right now is a president who is, frankly and sadly, very, very serious, very significantly sympathetic to authoritarian-type people like bin Salman in Saudi Arabia or Putin in Russia. Or Xi in China. He likes authoritarians. And I guess he is afraid of being critical to those governments.
Trump ally and South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham said he will not be working with Crown Prince bin Salman anymore.
This guy is a wrecking ball. He had this guy murdered in a consulate in Turkey, and to expect me to ignore it, I feel used and abused.
Now, the reported identification of Saudis who were allegedly involved in the murder of Jamal Khashoggi at the consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, could be a turning point in the investigation, making it more difficult for the Saudi rulers to claim they knew nothing about it and putting more pressure on President Trump to take action against the Saudi government.